Hey guys, and welcome to the Hobby News. Well, since deciding to paint some elves this year, it seems like I've become an elf main, this channel. But, it seems like they're just bringing out more elves to tempt me, you know what I mean? Yeah, and today is a pretty cool day. We get to have a look at something pretty new, I guess, for Eldar at least, for 40k. Yeah, as I said before many times, this kill team, I guess, side game or whatever you want to call it, is a good opportunity for the sculptors and the designers to muck around with some ideas that don't normally get seen, I guess, in the main game. Same as we see in Age of Sigmar, like some of the Warcry warbands, and obviously the Underworld stuff, which is the main thing. You get these really interesting little groups of minis that they bring out for Underworlds, and they're always really great to paint and that sort of thing, especially for death. The vampires that you get in Underworlds are amazing. I've got a few of those on the channel if you want to see how to paint them in custom schemes. But the overall it's really good, and now we're seeing something really fun for Eldar. I don't know what their rules will be like for 40k, but they will have some for that. It says it in this article, but we're looking at Corsairs. So I think this is really the first time we've ever really seen proper designs for Corsairs, except in maybe Rogue Trader. Maybe there was something there, I can't really remember. It's been a long time since those days. But this is the first real imagining, I think, of Corsairs really, and any real rules to sort of go along with that, I guess, except maybe Rogue Trader. So let's just take a look at this article, eh? So Shiver the Timbers of the 41st Millennium with the new Void Scarred Corsairs. Okay, so I've asked me Hardies. Okay, I don't think I want to read this. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got new Aeldari Corsair models. Yep, great. Let's take a look at the models and not worry about that flavor text. So yeah, like really cool, right? Each one unique. They've got lots of options in the kit, or so it tells us. Obviously, I love the color scheme. I'm a big fan of blue-greens and that sort of thing with a nice magenta pop color. It's perfect in every way. This is the sort of thing like, I'm obviously probably going to have a little crack at these and paint them at some point during the year, but it's hard to decide whether I would actually even go a different color scheme, because this is exactly how I would paint them pretty much. Maybe a few slight adjustments, but yeah, they've got a color scheme that's very pleasing. It's a solid one, and one that I would definitely do myself. We've got some good contrasting like little combinations here, nice deep rich golds, that sort of thing. Everything about the color scheme is great, so a great job from the Heavy Metal team for sure. And gives a slightly different vibe, I guess, than your standard Eldar, which is nice, and then all of the sculpting details on these are really fun. And as I said, each one is unique. We've got little tip of the hat and nods to various types of Eldar that we're seeing, a sort of Drukhari helmet here and so on. We've got lots of nice, interesting little weapons and sort of slightly modified weapons and so on that you don't necessarily see in the main faction. Yeah, there's a lot here to really enjoy, and great for painters and converters and modelers and that sort of thing. All sorts of little things you could do with these. Even love the little addition of the faces on the knee pads, which has that sort of Harlequin-esque sort of vibe to it. They're really combining a lot of elements here. Really like it. Obviously we've seen the one with the bird, which is nice. We've got a female here. Interestingly, the more static of the group for the female, I would have expected a more dynamic pose for the female one, but it's still cool. It's still all good. We're seeing some really nice little details. Yeah, there's nothing really not to love about this. If we go through here, yeah, and we got these are sort of the more dynamic ones. You got the sniper here and the duelist. The pistolier. And yeah, really cool. Like I'd love to see the sprue and see what other type of little options you have for these, because it does imply that there are some other ones. So maybe there's a head swap for this one or this one. But these are great. So these two here particularly, I think, will be ones that people will really enjoy painting. They're very evocative. I can see them being added to normal Eldar armies, that sort of thing, converted up into various characters. Yeah, they're just really fun. Like, I can't see anything wrong with this. I love the little masks and the little eye, bionics and that sort of thing. A little strap here with all little pouches and so on. Yeah, you go to town on this, you do some really fun things. And then there was this. Now, I really like this Farseer. So I don't know whether I guess it would be classed as a Farseer. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the rules yet. But this has got some great opportunity for some converting and something a little different for your normal Eldari faction, right? Even if you don't want to use it as a Corsair, like just this as a concept is really fun. You could do some little fun elements. It's in a good pose so that it's easy enough to chop things out and change things up. I could actually see this upper torso being used and using one of the other Farseer lower torsos, maybe even on a bike or something like that, changing up the cape and so on. I mean, it's all plastic. You can easily cut everything up. I even like the addition of the sort of these earmuffs on the side, the gems. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but it's kind of endearing. It's giving him an endearing look. It's almost like this is like the DJ helmet, like the earphone plugs on the side. I don't know. It's an interesting look, but I like it. I like this actually, the lower half with the, I guess, a sort of a breather grill here that's going around. I'm not sure if that kind of design is on the normal Farseers, but that's interesting. And I can see a lot of fun being had with this model. It definitely perked my interest out of them. Like, this is like a fun one to muck around with for sure. And then we've got this, I guess, a special weapons specialist, I suppose. Interesting head here with the spiky hair, a bit of a nod to the old school Eldar there. There's some nice little details on this one. And we got the same again, the spiky hair. This is probably a nicer version, I think, out of the two for the spiky hair Eldar. And even this is interesting. So we haven't seen this type of design either. So, a fun little motif here with the cut lines in the helmet to do this sort of glow effect. This is very, something out of a computer game sort of style, but still cool. Like, I like that. I think that there's definitely, an older player out there that's going to really vibe on this type of look. I think it's going for, I think that's sort of like the warp spiders, the web spinner guys or whatever. It's got that sort of backpack piece, so that might be what it's evoking. I'd say so. I say that's what it is. Each one of these seems to be looking like they're coming from a different Eldari background or type. I suppose that's part of their lore. I haven't read up on Corsairs for a very long time, so it's hard to know exactly what's going on with all of these, but it seems like they're coming from different backgrounds from the Aeldari Craftworlds and so on. So that's a really cool one. I like this one as well. I think there's definitely potential there for some fun painting styles on this one, especially if that back piece is relatively blank, so you can do a bit of freehand on there, that sort of thing. That'd be really cool. So yeah, all in all, a really great bunch of models, and I'm sure now it does say, we're going to have a little look at this, but if we come down here, so we've got the options and some close-ups here, pretty fun little choices there and here as well. But if we come down to the bottom here, it does say, so the Corsairs will first be available in the forthcoming Kill Team Nachman box set, which continues to the narrative of the current Warhammer 40,000 season. As we hinted on Monday, Corsairs will also have rules in the truly comprehensive Aeldari Codex. Yeah, so that's all good. But their adversary, as we all kind of know, or most of us do, was sort of leaked. It looks like it's going to be Chaos is going to be their adversary, and that means they'll be getting a kill team. So I'm hoping the Chaos one is as interesting as this, and they don't just phone it in. I'm hoping that we get to see some unique character models and so on. That would be amazing. If some of the rumors are true, it could be a kind of mutant or cultist heavy one, which would make sense for a kill team type of situation, maybe with only maybe a single Chaos Space Marine leading them, something like that. I'd love to see that kind of mix where it's more in line with the old school lore and so on of Chaos. You get the single Chaos Space Marine that gets sort of, almost worshipped as a god around these, cultists and sort of abhumans, and you get to see a sort of an interesting warband like that. One of the things that I loved in the old school 40k was Legion of the Damned. I loved that concept. I was playing them. It was super fun, and in that you had the opportunity to have sort of large squads of cultists, but instead of having a cultist leader, you could have a Chaos Space Marine leading it. So it was super cool. You'd have these like 3 big mobs of like, let's say 20 cultists, all being led by a sort of aspiring champion, a slightly better version of a Chaos Space Marine with the weapon options. So you could put a Power Fist in there, do all that sort of thing. And it was great because it was a Blade of Wounds. You charge in, he does the damage, the cultists, absorb the hit. It was very effective. It was a fun idea, and worked really well in terms of the game. So I hope we see some sort of, nod to the past in that way, as they're doing with the Eldar here, really, incorporating old school ideas with new school techniques and aesthetics, and creating something really interesting. So I hope we see that for Chaos. I really do. If you don't know, Chaos is one of my all-time loves. I really enjoy it, especially Nurgle and so on, but Undivided certainly as well. And if we do see that, this box set could be a really, really, I guess, spicy one, right? Everyone will want it because these models are great, and if they do the same for the Chaos, I can't imagine anyone not wanting it. Just to paint, it doesn't matter really what the rules are, just for the unique nature of it, I think is what's going to sell it, regardless of whether you play Kill Team or 40k. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I guess I'll catch you on the next one.